So, guys, there's really one broadhead feature that interests me more than anything else when it comes to mechanical performance. Now, the only two broadheads that I'm familiar with that offer it is the Sevr.
As it comes through and it comes in contact with that bone, it actually just wants to push out of the way and continue on the same trajectory.
And the Beast broadhead.
That doesn't get you to buy a pack of Beast broadheads. I don't know what will.
Some of the most popular for a reason. So what I'm talking about is the bone avoiding technology. And if it works, I would argue that there's nothing more important in a mechanical broadhead, other than reliability, of course. But the bone avoiding technology is undeniably one of the best features that a broadhead could have. How well this technology works is a big factor for how I'm gonna decide what broadhead I use. We've seen some big claims about how this technology works. You maybe already seen demonstrations about how the broadhead's working, but I wanted to test a couple things for myself. So I made our gel block here, the ballistics gelatin. So beef gelatin is a beef product, and this literally smells like cow hooves. Like, ugh, does not smell good. And I want to see how these things will do in the event of nicking a rib. I think the Sevr may be the winner there. But what has really interested me the most, and what has turned me off from mechanical broadheads the most, is what happens when you go between ribs. If you were to center punch right between two ribs. That's what we're gonna test. So when it comes to mechanical broadheads versus fixed blade broadheads, the mechanicals obviously have the advantage that they cut more tissue, but the drawback of that is that it cuts more. Meaning if you center punch between two ribs with a 2-inch broadhead that does not have any kind of bone avoiding or some kind of technology to address the hard object, you physically have to push that 2-inch broadhead through whatever bone or hard tissue that you hit. And that's where your fixed blade broadhead gets its reputation of penetration. Typically it's got a smaller cutting diameter, so it has to cut less. Again, outside of reliability and those other arguments that you could make. The less a broadhead has to cut, the less force is required to keep it moving through the medium. So I threw together this gel block here, and I think it's gonna be a good simulation on a couple different situations when it comes to a rib cage. Let's wait for this freaking... That's what you get for living right by an airport, eh? So, important things. I made this gel block a week ago now in hopes that I was gonna film this video last week. Unfortunately, my son, he's 7 weeks old, and last Sunday, we took him into the hospital with a fever. He is currently fighting off meningitis. It's gonna be a hard 4 weeks in the hospital. I'm literally just taking this hour or two break to get this video done, get outside of the hospital, really. But God is truly healing him. His recovery is far surpassing expectations. So of course, any prayers for my son James and our family are much appreciated. We know that God is moving and working in that situation. Okay, but I made this gel block a week ago, and as you can see, I put a couple pieces of wood in here, spaced roughly 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches apart. That is to simulate roughly the gap between an elk rib cage. We're not gonna be shooting the gel block because this just isn't enough gel to actually stop an arrow, obviously. But I wanna push the broadheads through the gel block and see how the broadhead interacts with our hard medium or our wood here. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and deploy the broadheads. Interesting. I'm having a weird problem here with the Sevr broadhead. I went to deploy it, and you can see it's not cutting the band. It's instead forcing that band up, and it's actually preventing the blades from locking. I've been shooting Sevrs for over a year now, and I've never had this problem. Look at that. I've never seen that problem, but I wanted to show you that. I guess that's just a quick side note. Very odd. I've never seen that. Anyways, to continue. So test number 1. What I wanted to see was our broadhead going in. Imagine a quartering shot where you're just nicking the rib cage, just nicking the scapula, or something else. Yep, Sevr's pivoting, pivoting. And let's see, does it straighten back out after the bone? Interesting. Looks like the broadhead collapsed. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a big wound channel because of that foreblade, but those blades are not fully deployed any longer. Take number 2 on the glancing performance. You can see here, the blades are locked. This is the Sevr Hybrid 1.5. Let's do the same thing just above it. Blade again is properly pivoting. We just went beyond the bone. Blades are still fully deployed, but you can see there that it's not coming back. That blade is staying to one side there. Oh, slowly, there it goes, okay. Now that blade is recovering and it's at its full diameter once again. Not bad. Okay, the second one was good. I'm not quite sure what the deal was, but the first time, I don't know why it didn't lock, but it might have been operator error. One more time, make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to, I guess. Sevr glancing blow, locked blades. Pivoting good. Blades recover perfect. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what that was. So, I mean, the bone avoiding technology worked the way it was supposed to. I couldn't tell you why the blades didn't lock open on that first one. I could assume operator error. I'm not gonna hide it from you guys. That's what I found. Maybe the gel gummed it up or pushed the blades in a certain way that caused them to dislodge. I don't know. I don't like that happened, but it's the truth. Let's try the beast. So I am a little bit curious with this one if the gel is actually enough to deploy the beast broadhead. Let's go ahead and give it a go. Glancing blow, same as the Sevr. No. Yeah, this is some pretty soft gel. So deployed broadhead. Let's go ahead and push. You can see the blades are collapsing as they're supposed to. I don't know if you can see that the blade is actually cutting into the wood. You can see those blades retracting as they're supposed to. It is pushing the broadhead off center, unlike the Sevr. It's pushing it away from the bone. Oh, full deploy immediately. Those springs pushed it back to that 2-inch immediately after that bone. Wow, look at that wound channel. That thing is nasty. So number 2 with the beast. See, it pushes that broadhead offline. Man, it immediately deploys back. I do really like that. And of course, it stays open the whole way through. Man, that's interesting. I mean, some might call that a decisive victory here for the beast. I'm not taking sides here. I've just been wanting to test this for a long time. So I feel like this is a very interesting test because no matter what, if you make a perfect shot on any 4-legged animal in North America, there's going to be a rib cage in the way between you and the vitals. Now, what I've been most curious about is if you punch right here between the ribs with a mechanical. See, most mechanicals that don't have bone avoiding technology would need to punch into those ribs, cut through 2 ribs to be able to get your proper penetration. And even if it gets through those ribs, the amount of penetration beyond that would be severely decreased with the energy loss. So with this setup, we're gonna give it a go. So I believe in addition to the Sevr's lock and pivot design, there is a sear in here that when there's a lot of force applied to the exterior of the blades, it should allow these blades to retract and then open back up again when they pass a hard object, like 2 ribs in our situation. Double rib, here we go. Fully deployed, Sevr Hybrid. So you can see it's contacting both of our blocks there. I'm pressing very hard. Very hard. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, I mean, that's pretty decisive. There's the answer that I was looking for. Wow. So guys, this is the answer that I was looking for. Not the result I was hoping to see, but that's pretty clear. If you try to push a Sevr broadhead through a couple ribs or something hard, it would have to break through, which not saying it can't. In these situations, most times I think this broadhead is going to punch through, but that's a serious energy loss we're talking about. I mean, I'm pushing like really hard, my whole body in this thing. It can start to cut into that wood, but it's a bone avoiding technology, only works on a glancing blow, which I guess it is what it is. These things work phenomenally. I've not had any issues with the Sevr broadhead, but that answers my question. Let's try the Beast. Beast broadhead, double rib shot. Here we go. You can see that 2-inch cutting diameter is so much bigger than the 1.5 too. And you can see the blades are retracting as they're supposed to. Wow. 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 I want you guys to see just how little force I'm putting into this. We'll use 2 fingers. Wow. Wow. So if you guys have seen my broadhead comparison video that I made, I think it was last year, this one here, I talked about how I believe the Beast broadhead would penetrate better or require less force to penetrate than a Sevr Hybrid. And this is exactly the situation that I was referring to. I recommended that my wife shoot the Beast broadhead because she wouldn't be able to overcome a hard object like bone as easily as I would with an 80-pound bow. And I'm actually astonished right now just looking at this. Wow. I mean, let's try it one more time. You can see my hose here, it looks kind of crummy. I gotta water the chickens after this. I want you to see, man, I'm gonna, like a dart, just put it through here. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. Huh. And look how fast that broadhead deploys too. As soon as it gets past the hard object, it pops right back out to its 2-inch diameter. If you're shooting the 2.3, it'd be 2.3 inches. Go between these bones. The broadhead does not care. It'll just go through. Another glancing blow. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I was really rooting for my Sevrs here. I know Josh Bomar himself gets a lot of hate, and people are not quite the biggest fan of his and therefore his broadheads. But this is really telling for me. These are the situations that matter, if you ask me. In a perfect shot, what is your broadhead doing? We'll throw our Sevr here right into the center of the bones. It won't go through there without breaking through whatever it's hitting. It won't. If it comes at the right angle, I think it might be able to slip a blade by. Yeah, there we go. So it's possible it's most likely that it could slip a blade by at the right angle. Let's see if it redeployed. Yep. Redeployed just as it should. But I don't know how you could ask more from a broadhead than the beast just not caring about glancing bones. It does not care. So, I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty excited about this because this is the exact question that's been in the back of my mind since I first heard about Sevr broadheads, since I first heard about the beast broadheads. In my opinion, if the bone avoiding technology works this good on the beast broadhead, it's gonna sound like a beast commercial. Beast broadheads, if you're watching this and you want to sponsor me, reach out. In my opinion, looking at this, if the bone avoiding technology in a large mechanical broadhead works good, especially as good as this beast broadhead did and does in these situations, I don't see any reason to use a fixed blade. I really don't. And of course, I'm talking about North American game. If you're going Cape buffalo hunting, you should probably shoot a heavy arrow with a cut and contact, mechanical advantage, fixed blade broadhead. That's not what I'm talking about. Not talking about Cape buffalo, not talking about rhinoceros or hippo, whatever other crazy stuff that goes on in other countries. When we're talking about deer, elk, antelope, I don't know why you'd shoot anything other than a mechanical. And for me, just with this test, it looks like the beast has all the advantage. When I was making this gelatin, man, it was rough. Guys, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I have a ton of other stuff planned. As soon as we get out of the hospital, I have a whole lot of videos that I want to start making. Any of your prayers over James and his healing are much appreciated. But please like the video, drop a comment down below, subscribe for more stuff like this. And as always, guys, may God bless you all. This is starting to smell already. Like, my hands are smelling beefy. Fun.